that activewear brand Lululemon, I like this announcement.
You've been a great voice for freedom, and he said that, I got to tell you, man to man, you've been screwed. He goes, I've been looking at the case. I knew from the beginning that it was fishy, but he said upon reviewing it, he felt a great injustice had been done, and that using his power, he was going to rectify it, sort of clear the slate.
I got to tell you, man to man, I can't speak man to man, but woman to man. I'm pretty sure Dinesh had said he was guilty a couple of years back, so I don't really know how that kind of screwing works. Time for Money, Power, Politics. That, of course, was Dinesh D'Souza, the alt-right commentator who is breathing a big sigh of relief this morning after receiving a full pardon from President Trump. D'Souza was convicted of campaign finance violations in 2014. I want to bring in Midwin Charles, attorney at Midwin Charles & Associates, my panel, Brendan Greeley and Senator Bob Torricelli. Midwin, President Trump clearing the slate for Dinesh D'Souza makes the 5th pardon since the president took office. I know there are parts of the White House, i.e. Jared Kushner's side of the house, that has been working on prison reform. They thought with Kim Kardashian's visit this week, we might see a woman who's been in jail for the last 22 years, still serving a life sentence for a nonviolent drug crime. She might get pardoned, but alas, no. Dinesh D'Souza, Martha Stewart, and maybe Blago. What do you make of the way the president is using his pardoning power, which, again, it's his power to do it?
Well, there are two things. One, I think it sort of is, he's basically sending a message. Politically, I think, when you look at the people that he has pardoned, Joe Arpaio as well, you have to add to the list. Joe Arpaio,
and I should correct myself, Blago is in consideration.
Is in consideration, right? And Dinesh D'Souza, who pled guilty for illegal campaign violations. I think what he's doing is sending a message to those who are currently under the scope of Mueller to say, hey, listen, if you have my back, I'll have your back. Because, I mean, this is foreshadowing, right? And if you look at Blagojevich, for example, he's also someone who was convicted of pay for play. And those are some of the crimes that his attorney, Michael Cohen, is looking at, and the like. But if you also look at the Dinesh D'Souza pardon, as well as Joe Arpaio, both those men are on the record for saying racist things. And what I think is almost dangerous, was the most dangerous about these pardons, is it sends this message that what these men have done is okay. Joe Arpaio was convicted for violating an order where he was told not to discriminate against migrants or immigrants in Arizona. He did it anyway. Dinesh D'Souza called President Obama a monkey, said Michelle Obama looked like an ape, and I mean a long record of racist statements, and yet he pardons him. Also, what's dangerous about this, or I think very unusual, is once again, Donald Trump is skirting or flouting our norms. I checked the DOJ website for how pardons are supposed to go. Usually someone makes a petition, usually they have to wait 5 years, and the Department of Justice is very clear in saying, by the way, if you get a pardon, this does not connote innocence. It means that you have accepted responsibility for what you've done. So I hope Dinesh D'Souza recognizes that he isn't innocent just because he's getting a pardon.
I don't think he particularly cares about that. He's just happy that the president just hooked him up. Senator, pardons have worked that way for years and years. Presidents hooking people up in some cases for various reasons. But I want to share what Michael Beschloss, presidential historian, said on why he thinks Trump is handling pardons the way he is.
This is sort of classic Trump. I think he's trying to numb people so that if he does these strange pardons,